Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Olafemi Boluwaji and I'm so excited to be doing this video today. Thank you to my returning subscribers and welcome to my new subscribers. So today I want to attempt to answer a particular question, and this is the question. As a lady, you love a brother and then this brother is not forthcoming. What do you do? And you don't only love the brother, but God has also told you that this brother is your husband. Like you have a spiritual conviction that this brother is your husband. So what do you do when the brother is not forthcoming? What are the things that you should do? What are the steps that you should take? So I'll be talking in two regards. I'll be talking about what to do and what not to do during this season of your life. And this is actually going to I'll also be sharing from personal experience because this has happened to me before. When my husband or my husband now my fiance then I got to the first time I saw him, I liked him. I don't even lie. But then over time as well, I had a spiritual conviction about the fact that he is my husband. But then he wasn't forthcoming, and he didn't come until 2 years after. And I'll also be sharing with you how I navigated that phase. And I trust the Lord that this video is going to be a blessing to you. So, what are the things that you're supposed to do during this season of your life? First and foremost is that you deepen your convictions about Him. So, you love Him, and not only do you love Him, but God has told you about Him. But then He's not coming. So, what do? The period between in your waiting period, that period while you're waiting for Him to come, what do? You start to deepen your convictions about Him. That is, you clarify your convictions. You get to that point where you are sure, you are really sure. You are sure that it's not just your emotions, it's not just because you like Him, because you love Him, but this is actually a spiritual conviction. So you clarify your convictions. You can clarify your convictions as well by telling um, trusted mentors about it, people to pray along with you, and you can clarify your convictions also by spending more time with God, asking God questions, and this is very important. So this is a season for you to deepen your convictions about Him. And the reason why you also need to do this is because during this period, I tell you, you may not be left alone. Some other people might be coming, even though He is not coming. Other guys might be coming and say, "Thus says the Lord." So what would keep you, and you might even also like these guys that are coming. In fact, a a final guy can come, a better guy, so to say, can come, and then you become confused and like, okay, should I? What do I do? But what will keep you during this season is the strong conviction that you have that this is what God is saying at this time, and I'm just going to wait. So it's very important that this season you clarify your convictions, you strengthen your convictions, you really get to that place of knowing exactly what God is saying about that situation. And another thing to do in this phase is that it's a time to ask God questions. Like you have to be in sync with God. You have to really be in sync with God step by step. It's not a journey that you will start with God and then you will live along the way or now start to want to do things on your own along the way. It's a journey that when you're starting with God, you have to also end it with God. So you have to be in sync with God, regularly asking Him questions, like be up to date with what is happening. I remember sharing from my own experience regularly, I would ask God questions about it, about Him. Okay, God is not coming, and then God will give me word. I remember one particular word from Hebrews, even though it's hurry, wait for it because it will come. And God kept on giving me those kind of words. Okay, wait, He's going to come, and just giving me several words which I kept on writing down. God was also, using some situations and circumstances to speak to me. You know, you just have to be in sync with God. You have to ask God questions regularly, like be up to date, okay? So that you are you are kept in the know. Because especially if it's a different situation, let's say both of you are in the same space. For instance, if you're in the same fellowship or in the same church or in the same place of work, you know, like you see him regularly, you know the things that are going on with him. It's easy for you to know, okay, this guy is not even he's not yet in a relationship. So you're still like keeping hope alive, knowing that okay, this can still happen. But what if you're not even in the same space with him? Maybe just someone afar off. You don't probably it does not even know you. So what do you do in this situation? You have to be up to date with God, right? It has to be God giving you info, inside info, and telling you that just wait, hold on. Okay, okay, he is in a relationship, he's seen and missed, but hold on. You have to follow God to that point where just be up to date with him. I really hope that you get what I'm trying to say. Like, be in sync, be up to date. It's God that will be carrying you along about his activities, the things that he's doing. You understand what he will have you do and all of that. And then the other thing I want to talk about is that develop friendship with him. Develop friendship with him. And this also depends. Like I said, if you are in the same space, let's say that you are in the same place of work, in the same church, in the same fellowship, it's easier to develop friendship with him. So you should try to do that. And then let me also sound a note of warning here. This is also something that you should not just do casually, right? Like, don't just do it by the flesh. It's good that you do it in in um in being led by the Spirit of God, especially if you are the one that is going to initiate that friendship. You have to trust God for instructions on how to go about it, because there has to be a positioning, but you have to allow God to lead you to position yourself. Okay, so don't by yourself try to position yourself. So it's a different ball game. If some maybe you are work colleagues and so you're already friends, but if you are not friends and so you have to, and it's good for you to be friends. So don't be the one to by the flesh try to initiate things and all of that. Be led by the Spirit of God, and it still boils down to the fact that you have to be in sync with God concerning this matter. So be led by God, follow instructions for divine positioning. Let God lead you on how to go about it. Whether to wait behind after service and just say hi, or just pretend, so to say, to be waiting for something else, you understand, or whether to get his contact for a service that he renders. I mean, it all depends, but this has to be by God. This has to be by instruction from God. So don't just do this from the flesh, like, okay, I have to position myself. But I tell you, there's a positioning you have to do. Remember the story of Ruth and Naomi, Ruth, Naomi, and Boaz. There was a positioning that Ruth had to do, but she didn't do it in the flesh. She was guided. She was guided by Naomi, her mother-in-law. Her mother-in-law gave her the tips and the tricks in which she had to position herself. And because God was in it worked out. Boaz saw her, recognized her, and then everything aligned. And eventually, she got married to Boaz. And the role that Naomi played in the life of Ruth is the same role that the Spirit of God can play for you in this matter. He's giving you tips and tricks on how to position yourself so that both of you can be in each other's places. Do you understand? But like I said, this is not something that you do from the flesh, just trying to orchestrate things. Don't try to orchestrate things on your own. I believe that aside Ruth, there are other females or other ladies that does the same thing that Ruth did. But then, because for them it wasn't a divine positioning, Boaz didn't even look at their side. But for Ruth, it was a divine position. It was an orchestrated one, one that was led by the Lord. And so Boaz had no choice. He had to cooperate. He had to allow. He had to see. God had to open the eyes, everything, the eyes of his spirit, his physical eyes for him to see. Okay, and that's the same way. If you try to do things on your own, by your own flesh, you're not going to see you. But if you wait on God, you allow God to. The Spirit of God knows all these things, so He knows how to. He knows how. Even the Spirit of God can help you as a guy to toast the lady, can give you words, the right words to say, the one that will enter, that will give you the correct response that you need. Okay, you just. This is a digression, right? It's a funny one. You just go and ask that lady out in the flesh. It might not work out, but you wait on God to give you lyrics, spiritual lyrics that would that would scatter everywhere in her head, such that she has no choice than to align. So just try to say that, allow the Spirit of God to lead you, to instruct you, to align you, to tell you what to do, to position yourself so that you can be in each other's space, so that you can be able to develop friendship. So, for example, let's say it's far away from you, he doesn't even know, he has never even seen you before. Like, you can't just maybe try to get his number from one and not just call and just say hello. It won't work that way, except if God is leading you to do so anyway. But you have to be led by God. You just have to be led by God. And then sometimes God is also saying, wait. He's not asking you to do anything, and you just have to wait. He doesn't want you to do any positioning, okay? He's just saying, oh, it's not the right time to do any position. He just wants you to wait. So all in all, just be in sync. Ask God questions, be instructed, follow instructions. Very important. So it's a very it's a very good space to be in, I tell you. And then it's not a journey, like I said, it's a journey that when you are starting with God, you have to be with God throughout. You won't start with God and say, no, I'm tired, I'm not doing this thing again. And then you end it. No, it has to be a continuous journey with the Lord. Okay. And then the other thing I want to talk about is get busy. Don't pause your life just waiting for him to propose. Not because of him say, don't start to plan your life based on him. You understand? So get busy. Continue with your life. Continue to do the things that the Lord has asked you to do. Further your education, continue to live your life and enjoy your life. And don't get entangled in that emotional web of this guy, you're obsessed with him and all of those things. Don't do that. Continue to live your life. And this also would be really possible when God can help you. It's God that can help you. When God becomes your husband, so to say, that you talk to him about it. Even at those times when you are weighed down and it feels like, oh God, what's happening? It's been excuse me please, it's been weeks, it's been months, it's been years, what's happening? And then God gives you an encouraging word again, and then you know that, okay, yeah, God is still in charge. So get busy. Don't disorganize your life structure and then just sitting down and waiting and wait. In fact, it will be when you advance, it's easier for him to see you and appreciate what he's saying when you advance, not when you just sit on one spot. Even when he sees you but you're just on one spot, it might be easy to overlook you. You understand? But when you keep on advancing in everything that the Lord has called you into, career, business, ministry, just advancing in your life, when he sees you, he gets even attracted. Okay, you get my point, right? Now let's talk about what you should not do during this season. And one is that don't become obsessed. Yeah, still similar to what I said earlier. Don't become obsessed with him. The point that you're just obsessed, your sleeping thoughts, your waking thoughts is all about him. No, you cannot do anything again. No, don't do that. It's all about him. Yeah, like, don't even do that at all. Don't become obsessed with him. Just continue to trust God for him. Continue to pray about him. Continue to strengthen your conviction. Continue to just wait on the Lord, and knowing that he that has said it will surely bring it to pass. And I think I want to say a point that I feel I should have said during what you should be doing is that you should also be matured. Be matured in your relationship with him, in your relationship, in the way you relate with him at this point, especially if you are friends, you are in the same space. Be matured in your relationship. Don't now make it obvious. Don't make it obvious that you like him or that God has said something, or begin to like throw some lines that shows that God has actually been telling you things about him. Be patient, be matured in your relationship. Act maturely, be normal, okay? Be normal with him. Treat him like you would treat every other friend. So don't treat him specially, so to say, and that also brings me to my next point of what not to do. Don't chase him. Don't start to chase him. Because when you start to chase him, men love to be the chaser. Okay, So when you start to change, you can repel him, and you start to wonder like what's happening, and then eventually you repel him away. So be matured, okay? Be matured in how you relate with him. So don't start to do when you're with him. Don't start to just do anyhow. And then he's wondering, this guy, he already even knows that this guy likes this girl rather likes me, and you are not even giving him the opportunity to be the one to chase you. So hold on. To be really matured in your relationship with him, and it's God that can also really help you to do this sincerely, because there will be that temptation to just begin to hurt in some ways, but be matured in your relationship with him. And just to chip in a personal experience along this line, when during this season, remember I said I kept on journaling, I kept on writing down everything that God was telling me, that God was telling me about him, trusting God for the time that he was going to come and propose. And eventually, 2 years after the first time I got to know about him, he proposed. I gave him, over time, I gave him my journal, and then he saw every single thing I had written about him, and he was amazed. And what amazed him the most was the fact that throughout those 2 years, even though we were friends, but there was never a time that I that I showed like that I liked him, or or desperation for him, or that I was chasing him. He understand, and he really appreciated that fact that he never had a glimpse that I was actually waiting for him to come, right? In short, it wasn't me that with my actions forced him to come. It was God himself that orchestrated his coming. And it was such a delight for him that I didn't manipulate him in any way. So don't manipulate him. Don't start to dress him a provocative way so that he's going to look into your direction. Don't start to, do things so that just trying to do things in your own way so that he's going to, or try to lure him. No, don't do that. So you have to be mature. You have to carry yourself maturely in this phase. And the other thing is that don't start to do cooler ministry. Don't start to do cooler ministry. This is still about chasing. Like, okay, well, if I start cooler ministry, we look at my side and give it or start to like load him with gifts. Of course, especially if you are friends, you can buy gifts for him. Like I said, treat him like your other friend. So if you would get gifts for your other friends, of course you can get gifts for him, but not like you get gifts for him today, get gifts for him tomorrow, next tomorrow, and then he begins to wonder like what's happening. Okay, so just be normal. You sure don't start cooler ministry. For those that do not know what cooler ministry is, cooler ministry is starting to cook for him, giving him food, taking food to his house, day in, day out, just in a bid for him to notice you, to notice that you're a wife material, so that he starts to, that's manipulatory in nature. So don't manipulate. Don't do God one side and also do yourself one side. Focus totally on God, okay? So this is very important. And then now, the other thing I want to now talk about is what if he does not come? But before I talk about that, see, God's word is true. God's word is true. At least from my own experience, eventually it came, and the way everything just happened. I mean, 2 years I kept on just waiting, living my life. I was a student, doing my own thing, and then God was giving me what I was writing it down. And any other person that came at that time, I will check again. It will be a no. I will tell them sorry, no, and until one day, he proposed. He told me that I wanted to marry me, and it just really made me feel like, oh no, this God can be trusted. This God is good. Whatever He says comes to pass. But then, do you know that it's possible that He does not come? It's very possible that He does not come. And not because God cannot be trusted, not because God's word is not true. Number one, and also not because you did not get it right, not because your convictions were wrong, but because God's love does not force us to do something. God loves us so much that He gives us a free will. He allows us to choose what we want to do, right? He allows us to choose whether we want to believe in Him or not. He doesn't force Himself on us. So even if He's telling us that this is my will, He doesn't force His will on us and you must do it. No, He gives you the opportunity to choose whether you want to do it or not. That's how much He loves us, and that's just it. He can choose. God might even be telling him, and he might know that this is what God is saying, but he might choose not to come. And he might also not, you know how relationship matters can be very, very difficult to get it right as per spiritual conviction, such that a lot of times you still need a lot of checking, and he might just miss it, such that he thinks that it's someone else because of his emotional connection to someone else. So a lot of things can happen that will make him eventually not come. And so what's my encouragement for you? And that's why he said that keep on be, be in sync with God concerning this matter. And continuing to ask, okay, is it a wait? Should I wait? What are you saying? You understand? Even because it's possible that God knows the future, right? But yeah, He knows the future, and it's possible that at some point He has even missed it. He enters into a relationship with someone else, and God is saying, wait, because God knows that He would still come. You understand? So that's why I said being safe with God, up to the point where God says, okay, I'm going to I mean, God, brings you to someone else. You understand? But all I'm saying is that you can never be stranded. You can never be stranded, even if it does not come because of some of the reasons that I highlighted earlier. You can never be stranded. So the Lord would would package another son for you. Lord would. So it's not like once it does not come, that's the end for you. Like, oh, that's finished for you. Your husband, the person that God has ordained for you, did not come, and so you are stranded. No, you can't be stranded. God will package another son, and everything that you need for life and godliness, the Lord will package it in another of His sons for you, and the Lord will lead you to that son. You understand? And so that's why I said that you just have to be with God on this matter, such that when God is saying, okay, it's time to move on, you don't sit down there and say, no, God, I'm not moving on. I'm staying here. Yet you're also moving on. You're just trusting God at every step of the way. So this is very important. And I believe that you have been blessed by this video. Please feel free to share your comments in the comment section, and also feel free to like my video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Bye.